Hey Facebook, I hope you guys are having an awesome afternoon. My topic today is obviously a fairly strong one, and I'm wanting to dive into this simply because a few of my posts obviously have been around trusting the universe and being able to relax and fall back into and surrender into and let go into the universe. And a very, very dear friend of mine, and say hello if you're here. I can't quite see who's jumped on there. Hey Mel, perfect timing, honey. So I hope you've had a great trip too, and I can't wait to catch up as well. So a very dear friend of mine is having an extremely hard time, and you know, we can all relate to this. I know I've definitely been through this, definitely lots of times as well, where it feels like you just can't get traction with life. It feels like it doesn't matter what you do, how much effort you put in, how much you just are trying to make things work, where it just feels you just get slapped in the face time and time and time again. And it is heartbreaking when we're going through that. I can definitely relate to those feelings, and my beautiful friend is one of the most courageous, inspirational women that I absolutely know. And I'm wanting to talk a little bit about how we can actually make things a little bit easier, and how to actually move ourselves through some of those situations when it feels like that we are just like flat out and it's tsunami after tsunami. You just get back on your feet again, then it feels like you get knocked down, and it's really, really hard to get up and get going again from that place. So one of the biggest things that I've ever learned is utilizing the law of attraction. And I know it sounds like a whole bunch of foo-foo, a whole bunch of just spiritual rubbish, but I can testify again and again. Hey Yinka, great to have you here. And hey Michael, I can definitely testify so many times to when we engage this power, it can really, really change things around in an amazing, amazing way. And I do apologize for a bit of camera shake here as well. So I haven't got my normal little tripod, and it's from the car. I'm waiting to pick one of my girls up from school. So the biggest thing that I've ever found that blocks us literally from being able to move ahead, first of all, and from getting traction, is resistance to actually where we are. And it's tricky because it's like we don't want to feel how we feel, and yet the more that we resist it, the more that it persists. You've probably heard that before, where energy goes... where our focus goes, energy flows. And it's the same with resistance. What we resist persists. And so the first step, which is can be really, really hard to do, is actually accepting where you are. And it's like going, well, this is just where it is right now. Where I think we get trapped is that we feel like we've got to push against it and push so hard to get out of it that we actually keep ourselves stuck even longer and longer. So hey Libby, great to have you on here, honey. And so with that resistance, it actually keeps you spinning on the spot for as long as we're resisting it. And it can make things really, really difficult, because I've definitely had that feeling about anger. I don't know whether you guys can relate, and give me lots of love if you guys can relate to this. You know, you get angry about feeling angry. Hey Katie, it's good to have you on here, hun. And so, you know, even that can keep us stuck for longer, and it's because we're resisting what we're actually feeling. And what I've actually experienced time and time again, and even with deep grief, this has happened, where when you actually sit and you actually feel into and you allow yourself to experience the fullness of your emotion in the moment, it's in that moment that we allow ourselves to actually accept what we're actually feeling, even if it's only for a glimpse, even if it's only for 30 seconds. Hey, Cody. We actually can sit and just be in the emotion. And I've had moments where I've had massive amounts of grief come up, particularly, hey, Karina, where after my mum had passed, and I would literally walk into a room and I'd just be like, oh my God, my heart just felt so heavy, and I would lay down on the floor and I would cry literally hysterically for, 3 or 4 minutes. And then it was like, okay, looking around and feeling into it, and it was gone. It literally shifted that fast. The thing is, we get caught up in our story around why we're feeling that emotion, and then our head gets in the way and it's trying to fix the problem, and all it does, can you tell I'm passionate about this? All it does is actually keep us stuck in the problem for longer, because the problem is that our mind's trying to fix something that perhaps doesn't actually need to be fixed. And our thoughts, our words, our feelings create, in my opinion, create our experience, create our reality. And all that the mind is literally projecting onto the external world an experience. And so it's our very thoughts. I don't know whether you guys have ever had this experience as well. This might demonstrate this a little bit more for you, but where, you've gone to phone a friend, or you've gone to phone maybe a couple of friends, and nobody's picked up or nobody's answered. And so you actually start to question yourself and doubt yourself and think, oh, does nobody like me? Or nobody really cares about me, and things like that. No, that's rubbish. It's total rubbish. But that's where the mind can go. And so it creates this problem that never actually existed. It was just everybody was busy doing their own thing, and it had nothing to do with you. And so we get stuck in these stories, and we get stuck in resisting the emotion and resisting where we are actually at life in this moment. And it can be really, really hard. Please don't get me wrong. I understand, from my personal experience, what deep grief is like. And it's not like we can change this stuff in a heartbeat. We can by shifting our emotions and when we've had some practice and got some emotional tools, definitely. However, some of these patterns are deeply ingrained and can take quite a little bit to move through. So initially it feels like we can be stuck in it for quite a while. Hey Gloria, great to have you on here, honey. And so what I've really, really noticed is using a thing called the emotional guidance scale. And I'm going to talk you guys through this. I'm going to also pop a link down below after the live video that you can download this information, get the worksheet. And I promise you, if you actually do this work every single day, you will actually feel better and better and better on every single level as well. And you can apply this in every area of life. And our emotions get so mixed up because obviously we have different emotions about our relationships, as we have different emotions about money, as we have different emotions around our living environment, as we do with our work or our career or our business, all those sorts of things. We have an emotional set point around those particular things depending on how life is showing up for us in that particular experience. So the emotional guidance scale down the bottom is actually despair, powerlessness, deep grief, those sorts of feelings. So, hey Carmen, great to have you here, honey. And so when we actually have those deep emotions, they're kind of like pretty low emotions. We can't get off the couch. We feel like we're stuck. We feel paralyzed. We feel like we can't move forward. We tend to not take very many actions when we're in those lower emotions. However, if you move up into some of the next level emotions, we have guilt, unworthiness, and perhaps getting into jealousy and rage. And you can start to feel that even though they're not great emotions, and I'm sure that none of us actually really like to experience those emotions, but we actually start to have a little bit more energy within those emotions. And then so we can move up into anger, and then into discouragement, and into disappointment. So on any particular subject, you can actually use this as a way to guide you emotionally to feeling more and more resourceful. Hey Martin, great to have you on here. And so as we move through those emotions from discouragement, disappointment, and perhaps get into frustration, perhaps get into overwhelm, then it's feeling lighter and lighter, and we tend to take more action from that space as well. And then all that we want to do is start to move into curiosity, or first there's kind of boredom, and then we move into curiosity, and then moving up into other emotions like curiosity, like how is this going to improve? How could this perhaps get a little bit better? And then we want to move into more emotions around hopefulness and contentment. What are we already content about? And then perhaps reaching into enthusiasm, excitement, positive expectation and belief. And then we get into empowerment, freedom, gratitude, love, all of those high-flying, high-vibe emotions where we feel absolutely amazing and really makes a big difference. Hey, Kat, great to have you on here, hon. And so when we can use the emotional guidance scale to lift our emotions. And it's too hard to go from a feeling of despair and powerlessness straight into a feeling of gratitude for our situation normally. I've tried to do that, and it doesn't matter. Like, even if you're journaling gratitude and things like that, it doesn't seem to matter, because it's like, it feels like empty words, which is really, that can be really, really challenging as well. So, and then we feel, the mind just goes, well, that's just rubbish. I don't believe that. That's just a pile of whatever. And so it actually can make us feel worse. We can kind of go back down to powerlessness. So, hey James, how are you? So give me some love, guys, if this is kind of resonating for you. If you'd like me to pop that link in there as well, because and if you guys have got any questions around this too, I'm more than happy to kind of answer anything there as well. Hey Gina. And so using the emotional guidance scale, we can really start to apply this to every single area of life. Your feelings are your emotional point of attraction for whatever you're inviting into your life. We're all energetic beings, I believe, and I feel like we're really kind of like radio transmitters. And when whatever emotion that you're in, you're vibrating at a particular level, you're transmitting at a particular level, and so you're picking up on what you're tuning into with that vibration. So if you're in a space of love, you're going to attract loving experiences. You're going to attract, hey Steve, good to have you on here. And you're going to attract more loving experiences. You're going to attract things that you love, things that you appreciate, and life just feels like it's getting better and better and better. However, if we're in a downward cycle and we're focused in the wrong area, we're focused on what we're not wanting to attract, we're focusing on the things that feel awful or that are perhaps detracting from our energy, or that we're not in agreement around, and we start to push against that and we start to feel resistant against that, then that starts to become a downward cycle where we're moving through feelings of, discouragement and despair, and getting back down into those lower emotions as well. So at all times, regardless of what's going on with our external circumstances, and I know this is a strong statement to say, but we are always in control. We can always choose and decide how we're going to respond, and this, I believe, is taking true self-responsibility for our life and for wherever we are at the moment as well. So, hey Lisa, great to have you on here. And so at all times, we can start to master our emotions through using the emotional guidance scale, through sifting through and moving more upward. It doesn't have to be the best feeling that we've ever had. It just needs to be a slightly better feeling than where we actually are at the moment. And the more that we can do that, life will just continue to get better and better. And then we start to have the positive expectations, positive belief that life is getting better and better. Hey, Di. All the time, and we're in an upward cycle. Sometimes things happen that really sideblind us, they take us off center, they knock us sideways. And this can be, if we lose a particular job, or if a loved one passes away, or, there's some of those life circumstances. And I believe that we're all co-creating in our life to bring more and more of our soul evolution. So sometimes there's big lessons that need to be learned, or big things that we're moving through. But at all times, it comes back to how we actually choose to respond to those, as to how well and how quickly that we can find our feet again, get some traction again. Thanks, Lise. Think of a better feeling thought. That's exactly right. It doesn't have to be the best feeling ever. It needs to be a little bit better than what it was before. And so when we can be soft and gentle with ourselves around this stuff, that makes a huge difference as well. However, acceptance, starting with, no matter where you're at, acceptance of your feelings right now is one of the best parts, because the more that we resist where we are right now, the harder it is to get traction in order to be able to move forward as well. So hope that's been helpful for you guys, and I am, hi Heidi, really excited to be able to, hey Jerry, to share this information with you guys. And if you've missed the start of the live like the live video, definitely jump onto the recording and have a look. I'll post that link below shortly with the emotional guidance scale that you guys can access and download, hey Lise, and be able to use that information as well to improve any area of your life that you're wanting to, and be able to go forward from there. So lots of love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and really excited to be able to share this with you too. Bye for now.